You know that old saying in hockey that sometimes a goaltender can really cost, make, or break a coach or GM's job? If you have a good team that just can't win any games because you don't get good goaltending, coach might get fired, simple as that. If you have a bad team that is winning games because the goaltending is superb, it can save a coach. That's kind of what I'm feeling about the Toronto Maple Leafs right now, because when it comes to Petr Mrazek, this guy has been so bad that it's difficult to try to articulate just where the Maple Leafs go from here. Sheldon Keefe, Kyle Dubas, these guys are kind of handcuffed because you take a look at what Petr Mrazek is. Hey, he is a goalie, probably the de facto backup of the team, who's making $3.8 million a season. Yeah, by the way, he's making just under $4 million till 2024. He's got a modified no-trade clause, so he has some control over whether or not he stays or goes should the Leafs decide to trade him. And this is the first of 3 years on his new contract that takes him till 32 years old. Yesterday, the Toronto Maple Leafs played the Arizona Coyotes. They lost in overtime, but this entire Petr Mrazek thing was one of the many stories that presented itself in that game. Everybody is talking about Austin Matthews and the goal-scoring race. Everybody's talking about the refereeing, which was atrocious in this game. But I wanted to focus only on the goaltending in this video, because when it comes to Petr Mrazek, it kind of blows my mind that this is the same dude that went out there and had all those highlight reel Dominik Hasek-like saves playing for the Carolina Hurricanes all those years ago. Just going over the stats right here, on 12 shots against, Petr Mrazek led in 4 goals against the Arizona Coyotes. He had a .667 save percentage, and this is the 3rd game in a row where he goes out there and gets a save percentage below 900. In fact, let's go back to his previous, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 starts. He's only got 3 games where he has a 900-plus save percentage. Against the Vancouver Canucks, he has an .875. Against the Canadiens, a .792. The Red Wings, the 10-7 game, he gets himself a .750 save percentage. Against the Sabres, an .839. The Blue Jackets, an .886. And this game against the Coyotes, the .667. Petr Mrazek has not been a good goaltender as of late. And there's pretty much one stable reason why that is. And it can be summed up in one word right here. It's positioning. Petr Mrazek, if you take a look at the goals that were scored against him yesterday for the Arizona Coyotes, he's completely lost his crease. Not in terms of, he doesn't have the crease anymore. Yeah, no, the crease is technically his. Jack Campbell is out for a few weeks with a rib injury. But he's completely lost his crease in the sense that he literally is lost. This guy is going out there and trying to make saves 7-8 feet away from the goal line. The NHL crease is 6 feet tall, I believe that's what it is. And Petr Mrazek is consistently finding himself overcommitting on far shots, going out there and trying to deflect the puck into the corner. Oh no, it goes off the inside of his glove and it bounces to the other guy on the side. It happens to be Alex Galchenyuk. There was the other play for the Chychrun goal where he was completely way too far out of his crease again. There's a shot on the cross crease. It trickles by. It's a rolling puck. It just slides along the ice. It's not even a fast one. And Petr Mrazek doesn't get back in time. You have yourselves the 3rd goal scored by the Arizona Coyotes here, where Petr Mrazek completely loses sight of it and he tries to complain that it's a high stick, but it's not. He's super far away from the puck over here too. And then the 4th goal, it was just a pretty good snipe over there by Christian Fischer, so I'm going to go ahead and give him that one. But Petr Mrazek, even if you go back to the days where he was making beautiful saves for the Carolina Hurricanes, all these highlight reel stops that you would see on SportsCenter once in a while, try to go back and watch some of those. Because I'll let you know that when you review some of the Petr Mrazek highlights of the past, you would come to realize that this positioning stuff, him being a little bit too far away from the goal line, him kind of leaving his crease, him kind of finding himself in no man's land, it's not really a new thing. Petr Mrazek was making some beautiful desperation saves with the Hurricanes back when he was on that team, and some of these only looked like they were beautiful saves because he was so far away from the net. You have yourselves the entire David Ayres situation, and I'll thank the Reddit comments for going out there and talking about this. The reason David Ayres even happened was because Petr Mrazek injured himself by going way too far out of his crease and getting hurt. The difference being, the Carolina Hurricanes defense core is a lot better and a lot more consistent than the Maple Leafs defense core has been the past little while here. And now, the Toronto Maple Leafs are in a position where they had to give the crease to Erik Källgren, who came in and actually played pretty well. He lost in overtime, but there you go, refereeing. You can talk about that in the comment section below. And now things are getting difficult because the next game for the Maple Leafs is indeed that outdoor game in the football field. So, yeah, what the heck is Sheldon Keefe going to do here? Start out Mrazek, who has had... What the heck is his number at? He's had an .833 save percentage in 3 games here in the month of March. Or go with a guy who hasn't played an NHL start just yet in Erik Källgren. I do not pity Sheldon Keefe at the moment, but with this entire goaltending conversation in the back of our minds, I also wanted to bring up Marc-Andre Fleury because we had ourselves an update about Fleury and the entire Leafs conversation discourse over here too. Take a look at this. Pierre LeBrun on yesterday's edition of Insider Trading said, "We believe the Leafs have talked to Chicago about Marc-Andre Fleury." Now, again, this is more of a due diligence type. This is not a serious conversation at this point, but it does tell you the Leafs are leaving no stone unturned. Now, this conversation, the video of them saying this on TSN, it aired before the Toronto-Arizona game, so my perspective is a lot of Leafs fans who watched yesterday's game, Arizona-Toronto, and saw Petr Mrazek do what Petr Mrazek did. I feel like this Marc-Andre Fleury thing is all of a sudden a much bigger deal now after that game, and a lot of Leafs fans probably feel the same way. We saw some speculation as to whether or not you could see a Fleury to Toronto trade, whether or not there's 50% salary retained or 50 plus another 50, so 75% salary retained. If you're able to do a move like that, hey, maybe Petr Mrazek is actually able to leave the team and actually get traded. Has Petr Mrazek already played his last game with the Toronto Maple Leafs? Who really knows? Has it been this game against Arizona, or is it going to be the Sunday game against Buffalo in the stadium? I'm not too sure if he's going to get the start, but if he does, oh boy, he better show up because, yeah, everybody's eyes are going to be on him. So for Petr Mrazek, times are tough. And for Jack Campbell, times are even tougher because he's recovering from a rib injury. I think a lot of people would go out there and say that it's not surprising that Campbell had been hurt the entire time. According to Morgan Riley, it appears that he has been dealing with this for a while now, so it doesn't appear to be a brand new thing that Campbell is sustaining. But for now, in this 2-week grace period, it's supposed to be Petr Mrazek's crease. Up until we see an inevitable trade for a goaltender that sees that guy taking over the crease instead. Knock on wood, that happens or it doesn't happen. I'm not too sure what I want to happen. I'm just kind of sitting here on the outside, watching from afar and analyzing it in my own head. So, let me know in the comments all your thoughts about this idea of Marc-Andre Fleury also being a target of the Maple Leafs. Not necessarily because they're actively shopping and they're going for him, but because they're just doing their due diligence. They're calling about this guy, saying, hey, what would the price be? Do you think you would accept a trade like this? Petr Mrazek, maybe, etc., etc. If you're a Chicago Blackhawks fan, what are your opinions on Marc-Andre Fleury being the guy that everybody is talking about? Because he's probably the best goaltender on the market right now. And if you're making a trade with Toronto, what is it that you want from Kyle Dubas and his goons to compensate for a Fleury? You gotta remember, you acquired Fleury from the Golden Knights for pretty much nothing, so this is a free asset in your hands right here, and he happens to be a pretty gosh darn valuable one at that. Toronto Maple Leafs fans, let me know in the comments all your thoughts about the idea of acquiring another goaltender. Is Fleury the only guy you're thinking about? Do you want some other mediocre goalie to come in here and maybe do what you thought Petr Mrazek would be able to do? Do you want a Yaroslav Halak? I can sell you on that guy. That guy's pretty good. Believe me, man. Totally isn't a super streaky goaltender who hasn't had a chance to become streaky this year because he hasn't been getting any consistent starts. Totally not just the epitome of all Canucks fans' disappointments right now. Yeah, go ahead and trade for Halak if you're not going to go out there and get Marc-Andre Fleury. We can use those top prospects either way. But talk to me in the comments all your thoughts about Mrazek, the Coyotes game. If you want to talk about the refs, I mean, I guess you can. I haven't really touched that in this video, but I guess I'll say refereeing, I guess, is pretty hard if nobody's going to go out there and make any calls, eh? I'm being sarcastic about that, by the way, because, yeah, the refereeing, pretty bad. Let me know in the comments all your thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this video. Trolls 99, and bye.